Right. Hi everyone, welcome to our team call, Fun, Fit and Fabulous. It's the 7th of February 2018, and today we are very lucky and very privileged to have Jennifer Emery with us. So Jennifer has, she's currently a diamond coach. She's regularly hitting Success Club 20, so that means she's getting about 10 people started every month. And what's amazing is that last year, 2018, first full year in Beachbody, and she hit SC10, so helped at least 5 ladies every single month, and was only one of 3 coaches in the UK to do that. So that is a massive achievement, as well as being the 4th top coach in the UK. Yee! Very exciting. You live in Chester. I don't know if you're from Chester, but you live in Chester, and you've got 2 beautiful girls, and you're married, and you also teach, have I got this right, Zumba and Clubbercise?
Yes, so I taught Mexican as well, so I'm a sort of fitness instructor sort of background for the last 9 years, but I've cut back now on the amount that I'm teaching due to the online work. So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I will pass over to you. You're going to talk about from having people interested to joining your team. What I will do is I'll let you talk, and then I'm sure that the ladies have got some questions for you. So yeah, over to you. I'm going to mute myself so there's no feedback.
No problem at all. So thanks so much for having me on here. It's really, really good to be here. I'll tell you just very, very quickly sort of my background. I've been with Beachbody since launch in 2017. My sort of why reason is teaching sort of fitness classes long term. I was teaching 12 classes a week, and I was having burnout. I was really, really struggling to just lift my head off the pillow some days because I was just physically exhausted. And I knew that long term it wasn't sustainable in the business that sort of doing that. But I love fitness and I love health. So when the coaching came around, I just thought it was an ideal fit. And from the word go, I made that decision that this is what is going to help me help more people, but also fill my cup too, because it's what my passion is. And I haven't looked back really. And I think what I realized at the start is I'm with Melanie. Are you Melanie? I don't know who my upline is. Melanie Mitro. So one of the things that I realized is that with the US and the UK, our markets are slightly different. How we interact with people are slightly different. We're a lot more reserved, we're a lot more skeptical, not necessarily open to new things. It does take a bit to sort of knock the barriers down for people to actually listen. So I spent sort of the first few months, and I wasn't even in the top 20 in the first few months, albeit I was probably one of the highest earners, because I wasn't going for rank, I was going for income, and I was bringing on customers first because I wanted them to get an incredible experience from it. I was also still learning as a coach too, and for me I was like, right, I want to know how to grow this business successfully so that I can then train my team to do the same thing. So I tried all different methods. I spent probably the first few months really trying different things that worked, and I got my sort of process down for the customer experience. Now I don't know what your process is. Do you want me to go over sort of what I do and how it's worked for me? Are you all happy yet?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So my process is, I generally always share a lot of befores and afters. So at least 4 times a week, 4 maybe 5 times a week, I'm sharing befores and afters. Now I post probably 2 or 3 times a day, be it Instagram, Facebook. If you have a look at my stories, it's only been recently that I've started doing Facebook stories and Instagram stories, but I'm getting a lot of traction from there too. But in terms of befores and afters, people want to see results. So when someone inquired from one of my posts, they would automatically go into an information group. So I don't know whether you have an information group. From an information group, they then fill the form out. And then what I do is when they fill that form out, I get them on a call. I don't send them details of costs via email. Because one of the things, if you think someone is going to part with a challenge pack, so £160 if it's the basic pack, or if there's an offer on, it goes down to probably, it's been as low as 140, but generally it's 160 upwards. And I'll tell you, my best challenge pack, or in terms of last year, 80-day obsession, was pretty much most of the challenge packs I sold. And I probably had at least a dozen of them that were the mega pack 440 that were sold. So how I would do it, when I get on a call with them, and again, I don't know whether many of you are getting on calls or whether you are doing it just through text messages. I found whenever I did text messages straight away, they've not seen the value of it. So, and when someone asks for costs, because pretty much all the time, the first thing they say is, how much is it? I never give them the cost. I say, I need to find out more about you because there are so many different options. When I have their information through on that form, I will then say, right, I have your information. I need to go into this into more detail so that we can run through what is best for you. Now, I have a couple of people that go, can you just send me the details? And I'll say, well, I'll say, okay, well, I'll just send them to you. And I don't actually think any further, but most of them will get on a call. And then when I get on a call, I go through a process. I ask them these few questions. So my first question is can you tell me a bit about what your typical day looks like for you in terms of your nutrition? So your breakfast, and make sure they tell me the breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, drinks, because I'll know straight away where they're lacking. And they say, right, okay, that's great. That gives me an idea in terms of your nutrition. Tell me a bit about your fitness. Where are you at in your fitness? And they may say, well, you told me on your form you exercise 1 to 2 times a week. What is it exactly you do? So then if they're predominantly doing cardio exercise, I know that they really need to be incorporating weights into their program. I then ask them what their lifestyle is like. So I have, if you think of a triangle, fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, questions that you want to ask. What are they doing? Are they sitting down behind a desk every day? Or are they up out and about? What it's like? And then I ask them, okay, realistically, how much time can you put aside to work out? And, realistically, how much can you put if you don't need to leave the house? And they will say, right, okay, 30 minutes or an hour. So then in my head, I'm working out which program is suitable for them. Now, most of my clients generally, and again, this is not to say your clients, so don't necessarily follow what I'm doing. You will understand who your market is. But for me, predominantly my clients say 21 day or 80 day. And what I will have is if someone's come in on an 80 day, I will say to them, right, I want to start you off on 30-minute workouts and then move you over to the 80 day after I've got your fitness levels up. So they're already ready, prepared in their head that actually 21 days is not the end of it. They're moving on to the longer program. Now, one of the things in terms of with 80 day is that you then have a client for 3-4 months. And I found some of my best coaches from my 80-day program because they've really sort of invested in their health. They're loving the programs. Whereas with 21 days, people just have in their head, right, it's done after 21 days and I'm gone. So I always look at in terms of, depending on where they're at, if they're new to fitness, I'll always have them doing workouts beforehand. So I'll find that information out from them first. And then it's when, okay, tell me now, tell me why this is so important to you. And they'll usually say, I want to lose weight. I want to lose a dress size because I'm going on holiday. And I'll say, well, why? Why you look fine the way you are? And they'll say, well, because I'm not happy. Well, why aren't you happy? And I would just keep asking them why till they're drilling further down into their why reason. And I'm writing all this information down. So everything from their nutrition, their fitness, their lifestyle, I'm writing all this down as they're saying it to me. And at the end, and then it's like, well, okay, if I could wave a magic wand, what would the outcome look like to you? So if they say, well, actually it's a size 12, 2 stone size 12, then I'll be like, right, okay, that is not going to happen overnight. And if you're looking for something that's going to happen overnight, this is not the program for you. If you're wanting to sort of really change and build it in as a lifestyle, then we need to be changing your habits, and habits don't change overnight. So the program that I'm then say, right, okay, have you got a pen and piece of paper? And they'll go, yeah. I'll say, right, okay. So we have a few options here. So if you were to say to me, Jen, I want to see how far I can push my body, I want to see how far I can get in 80 days, then I'd be saying to you, go for the mega pack, because you're going to get all the performance line in there. You're going to make sure that, if you're aching, if your body's aching, it recovers. It's going to make sure if you're tired that you've got you're energized to push you through your workouts. that's going to really drive you and get you the best possible results. And the cost of that is £440. And sometimes you'll see them go, you'll see them sort of panic a little bit, or they'll be absolutely fine. They'll be like, right, okay, and they'll be writing it down. And then I'll say, we then have a mid-range pack, which is the combo pack, which is 240. The difference between that and the mega pack is the performance line. You'll only get a month's supply of that, but it's a good way to try them so you can see how it impacts your body. And then we have the base pack, which is 180. You don't get any performance line. So what I will be saying to you is just keep me updated as to how you're getting on. If you're aching, if you're struggling with energy levels, then we're going to need to add that performance line in. Now, they're your challenge pack options, and what you get with them, all of them, and I'll go through, your 12 months, blah, 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 the only difference between the 3 packs. And then I'll say you will then go on after 30 days into a monthly amount of £108 per month. Now that covers me as your coach, supporting you on a daily basis. And it also covers your Shakeology. So I lead with me first before I lead with Shakeology. I will say you are getting me. And I'm very, very confident about saying that. I don't go in, saying, and it's going to be like £108. Because I say to them, if you look at, you've got a gym membership here, you've got a personal trainer here in terms of cost. So gym memberships, anything from £15, £20 up to £80, maybe £100 if you're in London a month. You then have gym PTs, which are anything from £20 to £50 an hour. This coaching falls somewhere in the middle in terms of cost, but you're getting so much more than what you would get from a personal trainer. So I'm sort of explaining that bit as well as we're talking, and you get full support. So you will go onto a monthly amount. And if you are looking to share your journey further, then I can get that reduced down to you for £97. And then I say, right, okay, once I've gone through that with them, I say, but what we want to do first, if they're only new to fitness, is I would be wanting to get you onto a 30-minute program, doing those workouts to build your fitness levels up, ready to get started on this. So can you tell me which pack are you sort of leaning towards? And they'll be going, oh, I'm not quite sure. So a lot of times they'll say, I can't stretch to the 440, but I'm not sure between the other two. And then that's when I'll say, right, okay, if you're not sure, I would also always say go for the mid pack, because at least you've got the performance line there. You're getting it cheap enough if you bought it separately, and you can even spread that out over the 3 months if you need to in terms of your performance line. And then that is basically how it is. You would never be able to get that in just by a text message. You're not able to build that relationship, ask them those questions, keep getting them to drill down. Can you imagine how long that one conversation would be with one person? Now, it is very long-winded in terms of getting on calls with people, but you are building that relationship. And if you see it as if you imagine if you were going in to see a physio, you couldn't go and you couldn't call them up and say, right, how much is it going to cost from a physio? They'd be like, we don't know, because we don't know what the problem is yet. We need to figure out what it is your problem is, and then we'll be able to say, well, actually, you need 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks, whatever you need. You need to be seeing this business as the same thing, and saying, actually, no, you're getting my support. I need to know before I can give you any price, because this program that you're asking about might not be for you. So so they're then seeing that you're actually thinking about them, and it's not just about you trying to get a sale. So for me, in terms of when I get on calls with people, and I will always go that way, there will always be some people who just won't get on a call, and they're just like, just send me the information. And that's fine, because I'm not wasting my time with them. But those that are serious about it, they'll get on a call with you, because they'll want to find out. So that's sort of my process, and that has worked very, very well. Now, for me, as I said, 80-day and 21-day have been the 2 programs that have been my go-to for pretty much the last 12 months. And obviously before 80-day came out, it was predominantly 21-day. But I will be sort of ramping it up this year again with 80-day again, because it's a 3-month program. And for me, it's obviously I can do so much more in 3 months, and you will get much better results in 3 months. So for me, I go for that. And I know a lot of people will shy away from the 80-day because they're worried about the cost. But if you go in there confident and you are sharing enough on social media about sort of giving lots of free advice and tips away, then you'll find that sort of people will sort of they'll want your support. So now, I mean, for me, I've got, as I said, I probably need about 300 clients. And I've got, in terms of some that have been with me since October 2017, others that did one program with me and carried on just using BOD, some that have done one program, had a few months break, and then come in on another program, and everything in between. So now it's about building on that. And if any of you how many of you are over a year into the business?
It's just Raven and I.
Okay, so now is where the compound effect starts kicking in. So you'll have a lot of coaches that will be, again, the first year is the toughest because you are building that foundation. And you will always have people that drop off after 12 months. You're not going to, and don't renew the subscriptions. But even if, say, 50% of them renew, you're then doing that compound effect. And it is getting to the first year is a tough year because you are learning at the same time. I went through, I've been in tea, I've been on to Thomas before in tears, going like, oh, so hard. And then I've got over it and I've learned it and I'm like, right, okay, I'm stronger. So I would always just recommend as well that you lean on your team when you are having days where you are having wobbles, because we all have them. It's only early stages in the UK and we have such an opportunity here to change so many lives. It's about building you though, in terms of on social media, and not being afraid to go live, not being afraid to share tips with people, giving away lots of free advice. But you're going to grow as a person as well as a result. So, I mean, I don't know, has that helped in terms of what my process is? Is there anything different to what you are all doing?
No, I mean, that's brilliant. Just a query in regards to, so the people that refuse to get on your calls, with you, do you get them to fill out the form and then do a share a cart with them based on that, or? So
what I do is, with those that won't get on a call, I'll send them a form. If they don't fill out the form, I've got a set email, an email set up for 21 day, and then it depends on the person. Because sometimes if I know them and I know what they're like, they're just like they're after every freebie under the sun. I'll just send them a share cart, because it's like, well, I'm not going to waste, which is why I'll put on the posts, no time wasters or serious inquiries only. And I purposely do that then, so that those that are actually getting in touch are the serious ones that I'll then spend my time with. Because I'll give you an example. At the start, last December, it was about 2 weeks before Christmas, thinking it would go quieter. I had about 200 inquiries in about 24 hours, 48 hours. And I was trying to get on a call with them all. And I made that mistake of not getting them to fill in forms. So anyone that was interested was getting on a call. And it was like, well, actually, that's where you need to filter down. Because those people that are serious will take 5 minutes to fill that form in. If they won't, then they're not serious. And they're just trying to find the cheapest thing that they think will sort of help them. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to attract those that are willing to invest in the health.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it really does help. Has anyone got any questions for Jen? If anyone wants to talk, you need to unmute yourself.
Do you put any form of price? Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Do you put any form of price on that question form? Or do you ask them a price range?
No. What do you have on your form?
I copied, I'm not sure whose I copied somebody's, and on there it had, can you spend, like, what is the price range on what you can spend basically on your health? And then it goes like 50, then plus, and there's a couple of tick boxes. And I think that's what put people off, like filling in my form. I
take that off purely because people don't know, until people know the value of it, they're not going to know what they're willing to spend. If someone said to me, how much are you willing to spend on a gym membership? You're going to say the cheapest amount. You're going to go to, well, I only want to spend £20 if I can, if I can get away with £20. I would take that off.
Yeah. I've been thinking that for a while now, but then I just thought, well, the other ones I've looked at, they had it on, so I thought I'd just keep it. But yeah.
I mean, there's more than one way to get result, but I would not put that on. I wouldn't be putting anything on cost. I might ask them, how much do you currently spend on your health? not what you want
Yeah.
to cut off, because it'll, and they might say £40 on a gym membership. If they say personal trainer, then in my head I know that they're willing to, they've got the money to spend. So you could change that question slightly just to say, how much do you currently spend?
Yeah.
Because then if they say they spend zero, then you may think that they're more likely just after lots of freebies, and it might make them think differently about getting on a call unless they fill out all the information. So I would tweak that slightly.
And what do you find is your Shakeology retention? So after they sign up, do you find your customers stick with the Shakeology, or is it mostly coaches?
So the coaches stick with the Shakeology. The customers that do 80-day, it's for people to be in my 80-day group, they have to be on the Shakeology. It's not just by the challenge pack, they have to be on it, and I will say, you're getting me supporting you on a daily basis. I'm turning up to support you. In terms of retention for like a 21-day, when I do like a 21-day program, most of them don't go onto the Shakeology because they just got in their head that 21-day program. Whereas those that do an 80-day, they're more likely to carry on with Shakeology afterwards because they've now built that in and built it in as a habit, around their work commitments, and it's easier, and they're seeing the results. Whereas I think especially in the first few weeks when people have Shakeology, they can go one of two ways. They can be like, actually, I really hate this and I just don't want to drink it. Or sometimes it can take them a few weeks to sort of adjust to it. But if they're only doing 21 days, then they may not actually have found the sort of Shakeology flavour that they like, or the mix that they like with whatever fruits or berries or whatever that may be. So I always find that the 80-day one is a better retention with the Shakeology. And also, I get a lot of performance line from that. Most people, when they go on that, even if they start on the basic, they're buying performance line during the program, and then they might buy bands again. If bands snap, they're buying those things. The actual income that comes in from that as well is going to have had some where they've had their friends join with them, so the friends of them just bought the sliders and the bands so that they've got the extra pieces of equipment. So I found 80-day to be the best one for me, and I know a lot of my team did, and we're doing Transform at the moment, but we're going to probably be moving back to 80-day until the summer, and then when Morning Meltdown one comes, we'll potentially move a lot more onto that.
You're making me want to do 80-day obsession again.
But there's so many incredible results. There's a lot more results out for 80-day than there are for like Transform. I mean, again, and this is purely from my pet, so don't think that I'm not doing Transform 20. But personally, because of my market, I found that a lot of women, they generally do a lot of cardio stuff anyway. They might go, and the weights is the bit that a lot of them don't get, and they don't know how to use weights. So for them, the added value of doing a program with weights in that they're going to learn how to use properly, and they're going to shred and tone, fits better with my avatar, and the women, and also it's not high intensity, constantly cardio for them. So that's why we're doing more. Going to be doing more 80-day this year.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so do you have like one mass challenge group, and then you have your separate ones when you do your different programs? How do you structure your challenge groups?
So last year, probably this time last year, I had like 5 groups running it, and I was running them all, because I'd have an 80-day start at the start of January, one at the end, one in February. I had a 21-day group running, and then I think a generic one. I was all over the place. I was like, oh my God. And then I put them in a rolling group. Yeah. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work as well. As much as it's easier for us, I didn't think it worked as well for the people, the clients coming into the group, because when you're on different day, the difference of being on that same day with everyone going through it. But now this year, I've got more people in the team who are sort of stepping up and happy to, schedule posts and things. So we're going to see how this first 80-day one goes that we're starting on the 18th. See how that goes, and then potentially do a new 80-day starting each month. But I think there'll be different groups.
Amazing. Yeah, because I mean we've got a big one. We did lift 4 ones before and they worked amazingly, and I think lift 4's my jam.
Yeah.
Having those separate challenge groups and then having the master group for anyone that was doing other stuff or just had BOD on its own worked really well. But for Transform 20 we've just kept with one group, but I always kind of think like, oh, I do miss our little lift 4 groups. I do miss them.
If lift 4 is your jam, then
why am I not doing it?
Then do it and find your niche and find what work. You know, the if it's the mum that can't work out every day, they can only do 4 days. If that is your, then stick with it. You know, you can try and do all the new and latest programs, but if it doesn't, I found that out. You know, I had probably my lowest month in January, considering it was January. And I do think the only difference is the program.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm now sort of flipping it. Now my husband got amazing results for Transform 20, and I got really, really good results for Transform 20. But whether people have seen all that high intensity,
that's what
my people aren't necessarily that.
Yeah.
Now I've been pushing for 80-day again. The inquiries are flooding in, so it's now just going through them and sorting them out. So for me, it's like that must be my niche or my calling. So I hope that's helped. But I'm about to go on my team call.
Yeah, so, thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it, and
I hope it's helped. Has it helped?
It really has helped. Yeah, there's some really, really great tips. We really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you at Summit.
No problem. And can I get a photograph of everyone?
Yes, we do. Hold on. Do you want me to do it like this? Because then you can see everyone.
You do it, yeah.
I can send it to you if you like, Jen.
That would be great if you could.
Oh, everyone's a little bit dark. Hold on. Ooh, smile. Wonderful. I'll send it to you all. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.